We should continue to encourage Puntland to return to the National Consultative Council for inclusive dialogue and effective implementation of key national priorities. In parallel, there has been progressive in reviewing and amending the provisional constitution with ongoing discussions to ensure that the views and perspectives of all stakeholders are considered in the review of Chapter 5 to 9 of the Provisional Constitution. This development followed the approval by the FGS Council of Ministers of a bill establishing an independent National Electoral and Boundaries Commission. This will strengthen the country's democratic process and promote transparency and accountability. We welcome the decision by the federal government of Somalia under the leadership of His Excellency Hassan Sheikh Mohamud to impose a total ban on the trade, smuggling, and any other business related to weapons and ammunition by non-state actors. Importantly, I commend Somalia for showing immense commitment to enhancing security and maintaining peace since the lifting of the arms embargo, and further urge concerted efforts to advance enforcement of Somalia's arms and ammunition control procedure, vital in preventing the proliferation of illegal weapons. Despite this development, tensions between Somalia and Ethiopia persist since January 2024. I therefore welcome the ongoing efforts to address the dispute between the two countries, and I look forward to an outcome that embodies the principles of sovereignty, respect for territorial integrity, and adherence to international law, key to promoting peace and security as well as effective cooperation and development. Madam President, turning to the security situation, the recent months have witnessed a fluid security landscape in Somalia, characterized by progress and setbacks. The Somali security forces intensified efforts to degrade Al-Shabaab capabilities through improved targeted counter-terrorism operations that led to the elimination of insurgent leaders and dismantling of several operations bases. Nonetheless, Al-Shabaab has continued to deploy asymmetric tactics, including complex attack, IED, VPID, and indirect fire. The recent mortar attacks on African Union UN camps in Baidoa, Mogadishu, and Kismayo, and other forms of attacks against civilian and military targets in Mogadishu and across the ATMIS sectors demonstrate Al-Shabaab resilience and underscore the need for robust intelligence sharing mechanism. Moreover, reports of Al-Shabaab acquiring missiles and armed UAV are a further source of concern, increasing drone threats and hostility to FGS installations, ATMIS, UN, and SSF locations, and civilian targets. Similarly, the growing risk of infiltration and collaboration between Al-Shabaab and the Houthi is a considerable security challenge, threatening regional stability in the Horn of Africa, as well as maritime navigation and shipping routes in the Red Sea, the Indian Ocean, and the Channel of Mozambique. These concerns underscore the transnational nature of security challenges and the need for comprehensive and coordinated international efforts that prioritize effective and sustainable solutions. Hence, as the federal government of Somalia advances the implementation of its security sector development plan to enhance force capabilities, sustain international cooperation, and support is crucial to reinforce existing security frameworks, enabling Somalia to effectively address emerging security threats. Madam President, I'm pleased to report remarkable progress in the transition of security responsibilities from ATMIS to the Somali security forces. In line with this Council decision on the phased approach to the Phase 3 drawdown, ATMIS, with the collaboration and support of answers, completed the transfer of 6 of 8 FOBs designated for handover to the Somali security forces. With the very challenging environmental and infrastructural terrain in some of our areas of operation, we continue to work closely with ANSOS to explore possible solutions, and we are making notable progress, hoping that the last 2 FOBs will draw down by the end of this month. In the same vein, the Phase 3, Sub-Phase B, drawdown of the additional 2,000 ATMIS troops was aligned to the concepts of the African Union Support and Stabilization Mission in Somalia, AWSOM, which directed that it constitutes the Phase 0 of the post-ATMIS mission. This necessitated a pause of the Phase 3B drawdown, which was scheduled for September, to provide planning capacity for the eventual exit of ATMIS on 31st December 2024 and the development of the new mission on January 1st, 2025 in a manner that aligns with Somalia's operational priorities and prevents a security vacuum. Madam President, turning to the post-ATMIS planning, transition planning is a complex process integrally tied to the dynamics of national leadership and ownership. In this regard, I commend the federal government of Somalia under the stewardship of President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud for assuming full ownership and responsibility for the planning process by promoting enhanced collaboration and coordination among key stakeholders. This enabled the formulation of economies jointly developed with the federal government of Somalia and inspired by the Somalia Security Development Plan in line with the Somalia security needs and the African Union capacity to deliver. In turn, the economies, which envisages a lean mission with a defensive and limited operational mandate, limited in scope and size, and with a clear exit strategy, provided the basis for the integrated mission planning in line with Resolution 2748 of 2024. It is in this regard that the African Union and United Nations Joint Team on the implementation of Resolution 2748 recently deployed to Mogadishu to undertake extensive consultations with the federal government of Somalia, ATMIS, UN, and various security, stabilization, and development partners to ensure comprehensive input and support essential for a cohesive, coherent, flexible, and responsive post-ATMIS plan aligned with Somalia's need, support structures, anticipated contributions, and sustainable outcomes. Madam President, closely linked to this process are the ongoing efforts to secure predictable, adequate, and sustainable financial support to offset ATMIS funding gaps and secure funding for the successor mission. Cognizant of the current financial constraints and competing priorities, the African Union adopted a multi-phased approach to resource mobilization, focusing on innovative funding sources and partnerships that enhance operational capacity. Hence, in collaboration with the United Nations, the African Union established a task force on the implementation of Resolution 2719. This is supplemented by the decision of the chairperson of the African Union to designate the African Union High Representative for Financing of the Union and the Peace Fund to propose financing options for the transition from ATMIS to AWSOM. It is in continuation of these efforts that I thank all the partners, states and organizations who have supported the African Union intervention in Somalia, both financially and in kind, and call for sustained backing to maintain ATMIS, SSF, and ANSOS effectiveness. This will ensure that the ongoing integrated planning, for the post-ATMIS mission and the ensuring operational plans are adequately funded and resources to sustainably meet their goal. Madam President, as I conclude, I would like to underscore that despite challenges, there are clear opportunities to consolidate and further progress. The next 2 months to the end of this year will be a crucial period for Somalia. They will necessitate collective action and partnership key to shaping the future of this resilient nation. In this regard, I remain deeply convinced that the determination of President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud to build trust and consensus and foster a culture of shared commitment and responsibility with all stakeholders to address emerging issues will be essential to sustain the fight against Al-Shabaab and offer the best possible condition for a smooth transition. I consequently call upon this Council to reaffirm its support for Somalia and to continue encouraging sustained international support, including targeted capacity building to national state building initiatives as Somalia navigates its path towards sustainable peace, stability, and development. Merci beaucoup, Madame la Présidente.